Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Idiots Reading Comics. This week is episode 34, Spawn. This is going to be Origins Collections, collected from 1992. If you're here, you're either listening to it on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts at Two Idiots Reading Comics. Also, you can go watch us on YouTube at Two Idiots Reading Comics. And also, we're on Facebook as well. Don't forget, we've got a group started over there. And you can also comment, subscribe, anything else at 2idiotsRC on Twitter and Instagram. We hope y'all are engaging. We're getting a little bit of feedback. We want more. We want to engage with y'all even more. Find out what your likes are, your dislikes, what we can do better to make this show better for y'all. But just let us know, and let's get into it.
And welcome to episode 34
Woohoo!
of Two Idiots Reading Comics. Probably one of the modern, I wouldn't say, I guess you could call him a legend. Todd McFarlane, his baby. We're going to be reading Spawn.
Yeah, man. This is really fun. The only bit of Spawn I've ever known is the movie that came out in
That was bad.
late 90s.
Real bad.
And that's it. That's the only thing I ever knew of Spawn. And then
They have a really good HBO cartoon that came out in around like the 2000s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I've heard that's probably like if you want to watch Spawn, that's probably the best thing that you can watch.
Okay.
And they are working on a new Spawn movie, hopefully Jamie Foxx.
That's right. I remember hearing stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to hit all that up? Warner Brothers or
I think
whoever owns them in
Todd
comics?
McFarlane's finally just going to be like, fuck it, I'll pay for it.
He's got the money.
Yeah.
So in saying that, it never outright says, I guess, saying stories. In the cover, it says stories, pencils, and inks by Todd McFarlane.
Yes,
I'm guessing with saying stories, it means he's the writer as well.
He's the writer, and then he's also
the creator.
like the author or artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lettering, Tom Orzakowski. Color, Steve Oliff, Ruben Rude, and Ali Optics. Covers, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
I love the Image indie comics because a lot shorter list we got to read off.
And this is like the founder, started the whole thing.
For Image? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
for
wow.
Image. Him and a group of other former Marvel artists that said, you know what, we want to start owning the stuff we create.
Yeah.
So, like the other big names were Rob Liefeld, creator of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Was big in the X-Men and stuff like that. Jim Lee was one of the founding members, but those two decided to go back to the big
They went
big
back
companies. And now I can't remember anybody else. But there are some big names, like these were like the hot up-and-comers at Marvel, artist-wise, and they were saying, screw it, we're going to start our own.
Okay.
And now Image is the place for anyone that wants to own the rights to their stuff. And you gotta do is pitch it to them. If they take it, they'll publish it. They just take a small fee, and then everything else goes to you.
Wow.
There's a great, I think it's Sci-Fi Wire is like the YouTube channel. There's a great 4-part documentary on YouTube about the founding of Image Comics. That's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, because it's...
And they did also a recent 2-hour documentary just on Todd McFarlane himself, because Spawn very recently just hit issue 300.
So this is so it's just still going.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Now I think there were a couple times where Todd took a break where he wasn't writing it and drawing it.
Yeah, but still,
Spawn is still going.
It hasn't stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
But this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I never really knew. Actually, I'll tell you, I never knew the backstory to Spawn.
Yeah.
The history, the origin, the powers, none of it.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of the backstory, but seemed with the volume 1, there was a lot of, and this being literally his creation story.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff they kept hidden, kept in the back pocket.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You got the hiccups today, don't you?
Yeah, man. It's not even alcohol induced.
That's the Mexican we ate
Oh,
for
man,
lunch.
that Mexican's fighting hard.
Yeah. No, it was really good. They even address it in that 4-part documentary of when these artists went and started their own comic books. suddenly they had to write their own stuff. And
Yeah.
for some of them, it showed, and it showed a little bit here. This is like issues 1 through 6, and there's a lot of Spawn talking to himself, being like, "Oh, I just wanted to see my wife again. Why did the devil trick me? Why am I
Yeah.
going through all this? I can only be white. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, that
Stuff
was
like that.
but that's kind of seemed to be a theme of the 90s comics or the 80s,
Yeah, yeah.
90s comics. We've talked about since in Teen Titans. What was the other comic? Spider-Man, Craven's Hunt.
Yes.
I don't know what it was about that time period, but they wanted to make sure they filled every
Yeah.
freaking page.
Mm-hmm.
And the dialogue just goes on and on
Mm-hmm.
and on, and it gets a little old, gets a little tiring,
Yeah.
but it does fill in a good bit of stuff. At least there wasn't a whole lot of third-person monologues this
Oh
time.
yeah, it wasn't like
was-
actual narration. Well, they did have narration. It was done in a clever way. Every time you got to a page, and it was those 3 news anchors,
Yes.
and they told you like how each
Yeah.
news network was spinning it in a different way and stuff
yeah,
like that.
that wasn't bad. Kind of gave you a little update on everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It took me. Did you know who Spawn, like the man, was when you started reading it?
Yes, but because I've like seen videos on
Okay.
YouTube and the origin of Spawn on Variant Comics and stuff like
I
that.
don't even know if I've watched that one.
Yeah.
Either way, but for me, like it took me a little while. I was like, okay, there's Spawn, but who is Spawn? And it took me
Yeah.
like I knew in the first little bit it said Lieutenant Colonel
Mhm.
Jason Went
Yeah.
crap Lieutenant Colonel Al Simmons.
Yeah. I'll see.
And it took me a little while. I was like, okay, is that him? Or is
that, and I've also watched the first episode of the HBO show.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right. But either way, it took me a few minutes to actually figure out like who it was. It didn't take me long because
Yeah.
I mean, but
Hold up, I think we need to address this. Didn't one of your friends from work that you showed the show to, didn't he
yes,
request this?
Yeah, buddy of mine, Taylor Southgate.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah,
I've
thanks,
never met
man.
him.
But yeah,
like we said, all you gotta do is ask, and we'll read something you
yeah.
want.
So he suggested us reading some Spawn stuff. So this is from him, suggestion, and we're doing it. So
Yeah.
that's all it takes. Just suggest it, and we'll do our damnedest to do it.
Yeah.
Might take a few months, but we'll do it.
Yeah, we are super ahead of schedule.
Yeah. But we have contingencies in place in case shit happens. Can't get it
Yes.
to it, so we covering our asses.
Yeah.
But so what the hell are his powers?
He has a lot of different powers. He's kind of like Superman and Martian Manhunter, where like he'll gain a superpower out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To be honest, the only thing I mean, I know he can fly, and he's like super strong, and like he can control his cape and chains, stuff like that.
Okay.
Other than that, like, and he has like plasma blasts.
Yeah.
Um,
Can fight without a heart.
yeah.
Fight without an arm.
My suggestion would be Variant. Though we love Variant here. It's another YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Way more popular than us right
Yeah.
now. They do video like short, like 10-minute videos, but they also do videos about like different power sets.
Yeah. Powers,
They
yeah.
have an episode of Spawn. I would, if you're more curious about that, I would go watch that because he knows way more about it than I do.
Yeah.
But
And they put a lot more effort into it, or a lot more,
they're a lot more experienced.
a lot
at it,
more
let's say that.
experience into it.
Um,
Because that was something until the devil showed up.
yeah,
Different pages, there's these numbers that kept popping up.
yeah.
um,
Did they explain that?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I
it started
just
with
missed it.
9,999.
Yeah.
Then as it keeps going, it drops down. By the time the issue ends, we're at 8,092.
Yeah.
And when he's fighting the dude with a V,
Violator? Yeah.
The two of them fight. Violator rips out Spawn's heart. Spawn then blows a basketball-sized hole in Violator's chest,
Yeah.
and they each rip off each other's arm. Then the devil shows up.
Yeah.
Or their version of the devil, weirdly drawn.
Yeah.
Kind of like a big fat goblin
Yeah.
with torn wings.
With
It was
white fur.
white
Yeah.
fur. Yeah, it was very weird
Yeah.
concept for a demon or for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
But the concept is that, or the idea is that Simmons sold his soul so that he could see his wife again.
Yeah.
Well, he
And
didn't
just
read the
like
fine print.
just like any time you make a
Yeah.
deal with the devil,
You don't read the fine print.
and never works out the way you think.
So his body's scarred. It looks like he's literally been burned.
Yeah, it was kind of like the
Um,
Deadpool effect.
Can't when he can transform, he transforms into this white dude with blonde hair.
Yeah,
And Simmons is a very muscular black man,
high top, fade.
high top face. I mean,
Yeah.
like complete polar opposites of
Yeah, yeah.
the way he looked. And to me, it's kind of like the devil's joke of, oh, you want to see your wife, but you can't tell her who you
Yeah.
are, or she
That
won't
was-
believe you.
That legit, it had me a little bit heartbroken. I was like, you see your wife, like you
Yeah.
finally get to go see your wife, and she's in this gorgeous dress, and also
Yeah.
her kid that you couldn't give her.
Yep.
She walks in. Oh, and it's your
Married to your best friend.
You're married to your best friend.
Um,
I was just like, oh man.
and again, they address it where like the best friend still knows that she loves him.
Yeah,
Like it's not like, oh, he killed Simmons and now is coming in. Like,
maybe I think.
ooh, is it?
I can't remember.
Because they don't talk about how he dies.
I know they
don't-
say like his partner. Like
but
in
there
all
was
the
a
videos,
guy. There was a big,
Yeah.
like almost large Jason Wynn.
all the videos I've seen of Spawn, I feel like he eventually does end up getting mad about it. I cannot
Okay.
remember.
But they kind of, I mean, but it's like, yeah, this very white blonde dude shows
Yeah.
up here at your door trying to explain that he was your very fit black high top fade
Yeah.
husband. Are you really gonna fucking believe it?
Yeah,
But in that story from the devil, and the devil goes on this 3-page rant.
yeah,
He says that you have a power top out, like you have a starting point.
the whole thing was.
I'm going to get your
Oh, is
soul.
that what that thing at the bottom is? That's his power level.
Yeah, the 9,000, all the numbers
Okay.
that keep changing. That's
Yeah.
the power level that he
All
like
right.
as he does.
And
certain
every time
things.
he said you can either sit here and accept the world is turning
and you can't fight
to
any
shit,
evil,
and you
yeah.
can't find anything just so you can stay alive,
Or
you can build this army like you're supposed to, but as soon as you stop using or as soon as you use up
run
all your
out,
powers, you're
your
just
soul's
done.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, either I get your soul soon or I get your soul late.
Yeah.
And it's do you want to give up fighting evil
Mhm.
now or later? And that's a big thing with when he's fighting overt kill.
Yeah.
And it's overt, OVERT with a dash, KILL.
People thought they were clever in the 90s.
Either way. And he makes a big point saying like he gets his ass beat.
Yeah.
And he's like, and once he's done and he's alive,
Mm.
and Overkill thinks he killed Spawn, he's like, he's dumb. He didn't check and see if I was actually dead.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm not wasting my powers on some cyborg. So he just
Yeah.
goes and gets fucking kitted up with guns and weapons and all that
Oh,
shit. So that'll be cool to see. When will he use his powers? Like he used his powers to heal himself real quick,
Mhm.
but I guess that was a very minute bit of energy.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm not wasting this on some cyborg that I can just shoot up.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool, kind of see.
Yeah, that was a cool panel with him like strapped with all those
Yeah.
weapons and stuff like that. What'd you think about the art though?
Really cool.
Yeah.
It was that edgy 90s
Mm-hmm.
artwork.
The thing Marvel had tried to hold back from all these guys for so long.
Yeah. You kind of see in DC, it reminded me a lot of what DC did in the Teen Titans,
Yeah.
Kraven's Hunt.
Mhm.
Not Kraven's Hunt, Judas Contract.
Huge contract.
Where, like, we're going to draw these people kind of in like a 80s look, but we're
Mhm.
going to give them a little new age colors. They
Yeah.
new colors kind of popped a little bit and everything. It's really nice. I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah. That black and red with those like lime green eyes was
That was
very
sick.
contrast and stuff like
Now,
that. Contrasting.
maybe they'll explain it later, but what was up with his outfit? Why was that what he looks like? Like his costume. Why has he got this big cowl, big red cowl,
That's
and big
just-
red cape?
If you've ever seen, there's like sketches of how Todd McFarlane wanted to change costumes,
Yeah.
and Marvel was like no, and I think he did like the big chains so he could like throw them around because he wanted
Yeah.
to do stuff with Spider-Man's web that they didn't want him to do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Todd McFarlane is the guy
Yeah.
who
Did he do
Everything was
Kraven's Hunt?
just like there was this strict way of how you could
Draw
draw
and
Spider-Man's
do and
web,
his powers
and
and yeah.
then he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that this way because this is the cool way to draw it."
Yeah.
And he did like this very famous cover of Spider-Man with the big wide eyes, and it's a whole bunch of all of
Yeah.
his type of drawing the
Yeah.
web is all over the page. I mean, it's like one of the most iconic Spider-Man covers ever. And he said, "I bet this sells more comics than whatever you're projected or whatever." And it did. And they're like, "All right, you can draw it however you want."
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the artwork really cool. I like the way they did it. But yeah, so the power levels, that's his soul.
Okay.
But I mean, in 6 issues, he dropped almost 2,000 points.
Yeah, I would
So-
imagine at some point
He gets it back.
He addresses that issue.
Like, I mean, you're talking about 6 issues, and he didn't do a whole lot. He fought
No.
Violator and did some other stupid shit.
Yeah, because you think you would, or he basically just told that one dude to stop harassing his secretary and pay his child support. That was about it.
Yeah, and then he lost points. That
Yeah.
was creepy. That was,
And there's a lot of bad people in this comic.
yeah. Except I think that the officers,
Yeah, I kept expecting for them to be bad, but
I don't think they're going to be. I think
Yeah.
the Twitch,
mm,
and they finally gave Sam Bork, Twitch
Yeah.
and Sam Bork. Twitch is a skinny, kind of
Mhm.
really shy guy that's kind of the yes sir man.
yeah.
And Sam Bork's kind of the detective.
Mm.
And the real look at
They also kind of use them as like a creative narration. Team.
yeah. Their big thing, what kind of made sure, like, to me, like, they weren't going to become evil
Mhm.
is when the creepy motherfucker got let out of prison that was
Oh,
killing
yeah,
children.
yeah.
And they're like, look, this is bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
we had the evidence and it
Mhm.
was being destroyed in front of us and we couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they also, like, anytime they're talking about, they're like, the chief is keeping us here covered in paperwork so we can't go out there
Yeah.
and mess
and
up the stuff
actually
they want
find,
to.
yeah.
And it's all about, like, corruption and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think those guys either Spawn, for me,
Mhm.
I think Spawn's either going to partner with them
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
or kind of like what he did with the child killer was
Yeah.
he took it and put it in his office.
Yeah.
Like, here's your collar. Like,
Mhm.
here's your reward.
Mhm.
But I would continue reading.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably not the first thing I'm jumping to read anytime soon. But if it came up that I ran out of stuff, I would read the next
Yeah.
one.
If I'm feeling like I want some, like, demons and shit like
Yeah.
that.
But it is right now. It's nowhere near the reading list.
I think we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Our reading list is very big right now.
It's already getting
Yeah.
crazy again, and there's so much stuff I want. It's like the TV shows. There's so much I want to watch and then read, and then
Yeah.
hopefully we don't burn ourselves like we did in college. But I think we're in a little bit better financial and
That and, like,
space, and we kind of release some of our
we also,
stuff
like,
out.
yes, I read comics outside of the shows we do for YouTube and podcasts and stuff like that. But mostly, like, most of the time when I'm reading, it's for the show. And
Right.
so it's like, we only do this maybe like once we try to do it once a month so we can stay on schedule unless, like, work and stuff like that happens.
Holidays. And,
Yeah. But I think, like, we'll be done with February. For us right now, it's the week before Christmas.
yeah.
And technically, we won't have to record again until February. So
Right. So we can get through Christmas, get
So
through
I like
the
it-
new year.
if I start to get a little burnt out, I can sit out for a little while.
yeah. Yeah,
and-
that's true.
Like, because you can get burnt out on comics. Like,
yeah.
I know there's some people that probably are like, get burnt out on comics, blah, blah, blah. You
You
shouldn't
get
have started.
burned out on everything.
Yeah, you shouldn't have started a podcast about comic books. But, like, when I'm in the middle of a busy work week, also have to prep for things I read, and then, oh, now you have 2 days to read for
Yeah.
this show. It's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can get a little much, but we're waking at work. Oh, I ain't stopping anytime soon.
Oh, no.
So,
We started doing this because we wanted to read more.
yeah,
And that's what
we're
we're
getting more. And now I think something in college, it was me and you, and there wasn't anybody else we could
We
really
tried
talk
to read everything also.
Well,
which didn't help out a
we
lot.
did jump in a little too hard.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anybody else to give an outlet to
Mm.
other than the two of us to burn out on each other to talk to. So now we have
Yeah.
y'all. That's what we ask from y'all is that y'all give y'all's feedback.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we can talk and kind of voice each other's opinions and get feedback of everything and kind of help everybody enjoy the world of that is comics.
Yeah. And shoot, I just went blank. Fuck.
I could see in your face you had this good thing you wanted to say. And I just went, whoa.
Yeah. It was something about, just comment and stuff, and we'll reply back as much as we can and stuff like that. But yeah. Nope, that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Well, as of right now, we don't know
Can
what
you
we're
tell
going
us
to
the
do.
last recording of the day?
As of right now, we don't know what we'll do for the first week of March, but stay tuned.
In your time, we should have already put it out on Instagram and
go
Twitter.
check. By this time this comes out,
And
go check
Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
All that stuff.
all that fun stuff, and
We
hit
do
the
know
notifications so you can find
The
out.
continuous will be Venom 3,
Yeah,
obviously.
So Volume 3 will be the third week in March.
Um,
But other than that,
and then we know Batman White Knight will be the second week of March.
Yeah. that's correct.
But whatever we read next week, we'll see here on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday.
But yeah, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.